My name is Paige, and today I will be giving my presentation on my great-grandpa John. Life is precious and relatively short. On this journey, we rarely encounter greatness, but I have. It's my great-grandpa John, and this is his life story. John was born on October 15, 1927, and weighed only 5 pounds. He had dark brown hair and eyes. His parents, Alice and Andrew, welcomed him into the world along with his two older brothers, Henry and Andrew. After John was born, Martin, Anne, George, Tilly, Harold, and Mary came along, giving the family of what John says 3.5 dozen. Since there were only 4 boys before Anne came along, John was stuck with the girl chores of the farm. He helped his mother in the house doing household chores. He cleaned, did the laundry, and cooked. While John was inside cleaning, his 3 older brothers were doing the farm chores. John started school when he was 5 years old. It did take him a little longer than most, as he had to take 3rd grade over 3 times. This wasn't because he wasn't smart. It was because he wanted to stay home and help around the house. He didn't like school, especially on Fridays. That meant spelling. He hated spelling. He claimed one time he missed 16 weeks in a row of spelling. When his dad would ask him if he wanted to go to school or not on Fridays, he would always tell his dad that he wanted to stay home. Although he usually hated school, arithmetic and recess were his favorite classes. His favorite teacher growing up was Mrs. Henricks. This was because she always favored him. Only one good thing about having to take 3rd grade over 3 times is that now his younger brother Martin was in the same grade. Martin liked and always did well in school, so when Martin was done with the homework, John would always come. His dad always wanted them to do well in school and finish 8th grade, so he promised the boys to get them a bike if they graduated. They did get a bike one time before they graduated from the 8th grade, but the boys rode it around so much, it wore out so fast, it wasn't worth buying another one. John and Martin never did get a bike when they graduated from the 8th grade. Some of John's favorite games to play while growing up were 9 buttons and checkers. During school, they would play kickball, which was fun since they didn't have a ball at home. Some other activities that John enjoyed were going to the river and catching fish. They would catch their fish with their bamboo sticks, but they never did eat the fish. When John was 19 and a half, he got his first car. It was a blue 47 Ford with suicide doors, and he was sure proud of it. After he got his Ford, he finally had his own motor transportation. He then started working for Ben Eben. John would milk the cows, farm with the equipment, garden, and get the fields ready. He worked on the Ben Eben farm for 4 years. While working, he got a call from the government. He was being drafted into the Army. On March 15, 1951, he left to take his basic training in Fort Riley, Kansas. He was stationed there for 5 months. While there, he was trained to cook. He was then sent overseas to Verdun, France for 18 months. After being in the Army for 23 months, they sent him to New York. He took a train to Sioux City, Iowa. His thoughts were to find a local farmer at the stockyards who could give him a ride back home. He finally got home on February 19, 1953. Soon after he got back from France, he was married to Florence Kruger. They got married on March 2, 1953 in Adrian, Minnesota. 4 days after being married, they bought a house just north of Little Rock, 1 mile into Minnesota. This house wasn't nice, but it did have electricity. Later on, they did add running water, but still didn't have a bathroom. While living in Minnesota, they had 4 children, 2 sons, Alan and Jeff, and 2 daughters, Jolene and Lori. Some things that were very important to John while raising his family were raising a Christian family and raising successful kids. While raising his family, John said that Alan was always the troublemaker of the family. He said that one time Alan was throwing rocks over the corn crib when he was not supposed to and hit John on the head. Alan was already running up to the house when John was going around the corn crib, knowing that he was in trouble, guessing that was the last time he threw rocks over the corn crib. After 10 years of living north of Little Rock, they made a big move. John uprooted his family and moved to a farm north of George. This was great for John and Florence and their family because John's in-laws lived right across the road so they could help each other out. They lived on that farm raising cattle, hogs, and chickens for 33 years. They also grew corn, soybeans, and hay. When John retired from working on the farm, they moved into the town of George, where they currently live. John feels like he has had a successful life, raising 4 successful children, having 16 grandchildren, and 23 great-grandchildren. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. That quote was from John 3:16.